My lip is bleeding. I have very bad indigestion, but I thought I'd start the introduction for this video. So the main title of this video is Why Everybody Hates You. And I just wanted to first preface this video by saying, if you genuinely believe that everyone hates you, that is just not true. Reality is very different from how we perceive it in our minds. And that is something that is so openly taught and understood, but I don't think we pay attention to it. This video is very hard for me to start because I've literally started it about 5 times now, which is not very nice. It's supposed to be very easygoing, but I've stuttered or I've made a mistake that's really big that I can't just ignore. But yeah, main point to take away at the very start is that your reality and how you perceive yourself is different from actual reality and how you're actually perceived. Hello, this is me in the future. I am coming to you to say that there's timestamps in the description, so if you want to skip ahead to parts that interest you the most, you definitely can. Ignore the lipstick smear. I do not know when that happened. In today's world, I feel like it's very easy for us to think that people don't like us or people don't appreciate us because we are seeing things through our own eyes. So, for example, we make a bunch of muffins, we spend a lot of time making these muffins, we measured out the ingredients, we did the whole shebang, and then we present it as a gift to someone and we get a simple thank you. We put in a lot of effort to write a card or a letter, let's say to a teacher, and then a different student, writes more or less the same letter, but they get a different reaction. They don't get a simple thank you, just like the muffins. They don't get a simple nod of appreciation. They get more of a broader expression of delight. And you think to yourself, how come these people around me are getting different reactions to things? How come they can put in less effort and get more of an outcome? Or how come when I walk into a room, people don't pay attention to me as much as the next person? It's just easy to feel unappreciated. Not feeling appreciated is something that we shouldn't take lightly. Like, if you think that a lot of people don't like you, you're probably thinking, how does this have anything to do with appreciation? And I want to explain that it has such a key role. Like, if you were really appreciated in the way that you want it to be, it wouldn't seem like people don't like you. Definitely not. Like, let's say you put in a lot of effort in your appearance and you walk into a room. If you were truly appreciated for the effort you put in, you would be getting warm welcomes and you'd be getting tons of compliments and you'd be getting people staring at you in awe and being like, wow, you put in so much effort today. We really noticed it. That's a form of appreciation, and that is also a form of kindness. And to feel disliked or to feel unappreciated is more or less not the same thing, but definitely on the same. So one really easy and obvious way you can feel more appreciated is just by bringing it up very casually what you've done. Some people are so caught up in their lives, and I totally get this, that they just don't notice. So let's say you changed your hair color, what I literally did in this video, and people just didn't say anything about it. You spent hours doing your hair and they just don't notice. Or maybe something as simple as like straightening your hair can take so long, and trust me, I know. These are all very girly things, by the way. Let's broaden it out. Like, you bought a new shirt and you really like this shirt. It seems very minuscule, but just simple like, hey dude, your shirt's pretty cool. Where did you get it from? Oh, makes your day. It does. I know it does. So like, how you can bring out appreciation in other people is just by mentioning it. Why don't you say it yourself? Why don't you be like, I bought this new shirt and I really like it, and then the other person can agree. They can be like, yeah, that shirt is pretty dope. I think it's pretty cool. Or be like, oh, I spent hours on my hair today. Someone can easily pick that up and be like, wow, your hair is lovely. It's lovely and straight and gorgeous and all this kind of stuff. Or it's lovely and curly and voluptuous. Like, bringing up yourself is such an easy thing to do, but then you can see how people react. They're actually appreciating what you've done, and they would have brought it up themselves, but they're just so caught up in their own life that they just didn't notice at first, which does not mean it's a minuscule thing or it's not worth noting. It just goes to show that people are busy and people are inattentive. So sometimes we have to bring their attention towards things or efforts that we make. Just to make sure we're on the same page, this is feeding into feeling more loved, which thus will counteract you feeling hated. Another way you can feel more appreciated is actually literally by doing the appreciation yourself, by like reversing it, by noticing something about someone that you didn't actually notice before, like, oh, they did their nails today, or oh, they gelled their hair in a certain way today, or they really were working hard today and they were really being optimistic, or they decided to grow out a beard, or they decided to change their hair color, something like that. You can bring out the appreciation in others. I stutter a lot, I'm so sorry. But you can bring out the appreciation in others by appreciating them yourself. Sharing love is one way to receive love, and that actually feeds into the second half of this video of why you actually might be hated. And I don't like using the word hated, but I'm gonna use the word disliked, or maybe not really. People don't really enjoy your surroundings. Not your surroundings. People don't really enjoy your company. So yeah, a simple act of appreciating others may bring out other people's appreciation. Now, this is a long-term thing. Don't just expect to start complimenting people's shoes and next thing you know, they're noticing every little thing that you've done. It's a gradual thing. People are more susceptible to people who are kind, and it actually kind of puts this weird pressure on them, positive pressure. Lots of positive pressure is so good, but it's like a positive pressure to kind of reimburse them. If someone's always noticing things about you, you as well kind of feel this like responsibility to do the same thing back. This is my last point on appreciation, but the second half of this video, as said, will deal with people actually not liking you, or you find that you get on the bad side of people a lot more often than you do the good side. Or like, let's just say you feel like you've entered a new niche or new surroundings or a new area and you feel like a lot of people aren't enjoying your company. That's what the second half of this video will deal with. So, on to my last point on how to feel more appreciated. My first 2 points were more focusing on how to gain appreciation from others, but this point is going to focus on yourself. So for this point, I want you to realize that the person who you should be gaining or wanting to gain the most appreciation from is yourself. Self-gratification and self-indulgence, not the right word, but kind of like self-gratification really is the key to happiness. Being content in yourself and being able to do things that makes you yourself proud, and you're not focusing on other people and other people's reaction, is the key to being happy and the key to feeling loved, which will counteract feeling hated. Now you might be wondering, how do you even do that? And it might sound a bit silly at first, but literally what I do and what works for me is to just genuinely say it. Just be like, wow, Naomi, I'm actually really proud of you today, or I really like how you did your hair today, or I really like how active you were, or I really like that new shirt you got. Like, literally be your own friend. Okay, sounds ridiculous, but trust me, it does wonders. There are loads of more ways in which you can get appreciation from yourself and from others, and I'm going to make another video on specifically just that topic, because self-appreciation is so important and appreciation is so important as well, because to feel appreciated is to feel seen, is to feel loved, is to feel a lot of things. I will move on to the second half of the video now. There will be a little interlude, and during that interlude you will see me vlog just aspects of my life, just get a bit of a break, because I feel like this topic is very heavy and I love breaks. To start my vlog, I would like to say that it is literally 15 minutes past 1 in the morning, and that is why I am stuttering so bad and I can't seem to, like, my sentences don't make sense. It's because I'm tired. So I'm gonna take off my makeup and go to bed. And the next time you'll see me from the past. And then you'll see me in the future. And then we'll come back and talk about why people don't like you. And I'm actually going to put timestamps in the description. So if you made it this far and you're thinking, I just want to know why people don't like me, how do I change that? You can go to that timestamp. I probably will put like a little thing at the beginning of the video, like maybe a little caption that says that there's timestamps in the description, so you can focus on parts that you really want to focus on. I am leaving the vlog part in for those who want to see a bit of a day in the life of me, or they just want to relax a bit and just have noise in the background. And yeah. So I forgot to record, but I'm basically making pancakes for breakfast, but it's gonna be a kind of different type of pancakes. They're gonna be savory. I will show you my idea in a second. I love how creamy colored my pancakes are. I'm sorry, the kettle is on, so you can't really hear me. Perfect and goldeny. It's not a perfect circle, but it's okay. We still love her. We're on to our second pancake. I put some maple syrup in my pancake batter to add a bit of sweetness, because that's probably the only sweet thing I'm going to add to this pancake. So this is the secret savory part of my breakfast. Do not judge if you're not going to taste it yourself. So it's a bit of savory butter, chicken, stew or sauce that you normally eat with rice, but I'm actually going to take some of it and heat it up. My roommate made it, and I'm going to heat it up and then put it into the pancakes. We have like kind of a sweet and savory mix, but I really just want the protein side of the butter chicken, and I tried it before and it tastes really good. So breakfast. So these are the 4 pancakes, savory pancakes, and some peppermint tea, and I filled up my long hot water bottle. Hey guys, right now I am currently editing. I look so weird, I do not know what's going on, but I'm editing the video for my first video. It's not really for anything. So I feel like I look really weird. I'm really uncomfortable, clearly. I'm not happy with that video at all. Like, I'm editing it right now, and I'm like, this is honestly the most trashiest thing I've ever produced in my life. But I think all first videos are really, really bad. Like, I've not seen somebody's first video on their channel that has been, like, and it's, like, the exact same quality, the exact same production as their current videos. So it's definitely a skill you need to build, and it's something I need to be patient with myself for, but I'm just not at all. This is not the introduction to this vlog. I'm gonna definitely film another one, and I don't know when that's gonna be, but anyways, this vlog is for when I'm gonna dye my hair purple, right? So I've ordered the stuff and we just have to wait for it to come. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I was like, I actually really like the process of filming these videos. I don't like the results of them, but I like filming them. So I said to myself, why don't we film my purple hair video now and just film the beginning of it, just to give me a little bit of a dopamine boost, because, oh, what's new? I'm feeling kind of low. Did we do anything interesting today? No, we didn't. I realized as well in that video, I said I was sick for a week and a half. Well, throughout that whole video, I was still sick, and guess what, guys? I was sick for a total of 2 weeks. That's disgusting. That's just gross. I hate that so much. It really ruined everything, and I'm still trying to get my life back from being sick for that long. Like, I still don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. I don't know. Guys, I legit just broke my pinky or something, because I'm trying to film, and my finger is really sore. And I'm just thinking, what is up with today? Like, today is just not one of those days. My pinky is so sore. Also, don't even ask me what the lighting is doing right now. I'm actually going to start this again. I'm not starting this again. I'm dyeing my hair purple because I want to be like the girl from Serena. MTV Downtown Serena. If you don't know who she is, I'm going to put a picture right here. Wow. Great editing skills. I'm just so cool. But, yeah. That girl, I want to look like her. I don't know where this came from, but I really want to look like her. Also, I can't remember what I was gonna say, so that's great. I wanted to look like her. And yeah, for the winter, I have all my hair colors planned in advance, by the way. It's gonna be a crazy ride. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Hit that subscribe button. I do not know how well my first video is gonna do because I'm filming this now. But of course, over the course of this vlog, I will upload my first video and get back to you. It's gonna get like... I'm not even gonna say what it's gonna get because we're gonna be optimistic, okay? But anyways, yeah, this lighting is really bad because it's nighttime. And I realize that when the lighting is bad, my quality drops like crazy. So I look like I'm filming on an iPhone 5. And you know what? You're not far off. It's an iPhone 8. So am I disappointed? Oh, no, not disappointed. Am I even embarrassed that it's an iPhone 8? Absolutely not. Okay, I love getting refurbished things. I love using things that are old and crusty because I know that I didn't spend a lot of money on it, or I either got it for free. So, you know, old and crusty things are the best and cheap things are the best, and you should always remember that. I also think I'm gonna rip off all my nails because I prefer shorter nails. And that's like just a little side note. Just as a reference, it literally says 13% and it's gonna take 2 hours. So the purple hair dye, it is literally so tiny, so we just have to close our eyes and hope that it is enough to do my whole head of hair. This is what my hair looks like. I don't know if you can see the purple in it properly, but I'm hoping. So I forgot to film myself from the period between when I went blue to purple. But during that period, I did go to a concert and I have some cool clips I want to show you. So here they are. So as you can see, I'm filming this in bed, and I refuse to get out of bed. I try to make myself get out of bed multiple times. It's just not happening. So we're going to be filming this final segment of the video in bed, and hopefully it's not too distracting that like I'm not in a sitting position. I'm just laying here. I'm really tired. I can't even remember what I did today. Today has just been a haze, but I just know that I'm really tired. But if you did go to the timestamps and you moved yourself from the start of the video after the first part to here to hear reasons why people actually don't like you, I'll get into that very shortly. This is just for my vlog people who stayed for the vlog and they're like, what's happening now? Now we are here in bed and I'm going to end the video. So my first point for why people might not like you per se, I don't want to say hate you because it's a very strong word. It's just based off of what you say. So I have a little anecdote here. I was talking to my friend one day and they're on about this one person who's in their course that everyone literally hates. Everyone hates this guy. No one really enjoys his presence. No one really enjoys him. And it's not based on anything that people would normally think play key roles, like looks or ethnicity or sometimes even gender. It's not even any of those. Of course not in this instance, because these are art students, so they're more open per se to those kind of things. They don't hate people judged off of what they look like, is basically what I'm trying to say. So this is solely just your personality, which I would like to use as a loose term to describe someone's characteristics, because characteristics and personality, in my opinion, can definitely change. And it varies from person to person. like how they interact with different people, your personality, quote unquote, and your characteristics can change. So, for instance, this guy, when he's with these group of people, he's always trying to put on airs and he's always acting cocky and saying everything that comes to his mind. And that makes people extremely uncomfortable. Even if you're not necessarily saying anything rude, just because you have such strong opinions doesn't mean you have to voice them out all the time. I know for a fact that I'd feel kind of uncomfortable being around someone who 24/7 felt the need to voice their strong opinions on things. And I know for some people that might seem interesting. Like, oh, it's nice to know that you have such interesting thoughts, and it is good conversation. But if you keep doing that constantly, it can become it can make you come off as very exhausting to be around. And energy is something that is so important when you're talking to people. Energy is so important to like pay attention to. Like, how much energy do you expend hanging out with someone? If you hang out with someone who's very exhausting and their personality is very strong, you're expending more energy and effort to be around this person, and that's not something people want to do. We use a lot of energy and a lot of effort to do most of our tasks, and in today's world a lot of things can exhaust us easily. Like, just simply having to do the same tasks over and over again can just like take up our whole entire day. Going on our phones, which might seem like a break theoretically, can also just be so exhausting. So just all of that kind of builds up. And if you are an exhausting person to be around, like you're constantly challenging people, you're constantly bringing forth your strong ideas, or you're kind of unusual and they have to put up with a lot to be around you, that's something that people are just going to opt out. They're not going to want to do that. They're not going to want to hang around with you. They're not going to want to hang around with you. They're not going to really like you per se. This is once again not to kind of play off the idea where you have to change yourself to be around other people. That is not what I'm trying to get across here. What I'm trying to say is kind of be who you want to be around. And that is literally my second point. It's just be who you want to be around. Which again is not changing who you are, but rather changing how much energy people have to expend to be around you. So this whole be who you want to be around with, I said that wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say. This second point is more about mindfulness. Be mindful, okay? Say you go to work in a new environment and you meet your coworkers every day. You've just started your job, so you haven't made any friends that you can call lifelong friends yet. Just putting yourself in that scenario and then copy and paste your exact personality, what you say and how you act, onto someone else, and ask yourself, seriously, sit yourself down and ask yourself, is that a very fun environment to be around? Because I know people have differences, and I know people like struggle, and you know they have conflicts, and that's all human nature, that's all natural. But if you find that the way you express things are very shocking, or they're very like heavy, if you put yourself in that person's shoes, it's not a very pleasant environment to be around with. It's not a very open environment. For example, I'm going back to using the example of having very strong and heavy opinions that kind of tend to come out of nowhere because it's easier to describe. But if you're around someone who's like that all the time, it's kind of like you're almost tiptoeing around them. Because let's say, I don't know, it's a very early in the morning, you've just woken up, basically you've gotten into work and you're tired, you don't really want to have a very strong political debate, so you kind of feel like you have to tiptoe around this person and make sure that they, like, you don't trigger an intense conversation first thing in the morning. Now, I'm not saying that this is what your personality is like, but that's just an example of someone's strong personality that can come off as invasive rather than endearing. To avoid making it seem like I'm rambling, I'm going to wrap my first point and my second point together. My first point was be careful what you say, because words hold such meaning and first impressions are very important, and what you say firstly can kind of set the tone of who you are, even if that's wrong or right. And then be more mindful, which kind of tie in with each other. If you're more mindful to how comfortable you're making people feel, you can read between the lines and you can pick up that, okay, maybe because it's so early in the morning, a political debate will not be suitable, or maybe I shouldn't state my strong opinions on fast fashion when my friend is now telling me that she just recently. When my friend just newly told me that she just bought her new shirt from H&M, maybe talking about fast fashion and how it's terrible for the environment isn't a really good point to make. Maybe I should compliment her about her shirt or just steer the conversation in another way. Just kind of mindfulness of what you're saying and just the environment around you is so important. And being careful of what you say as well ties into that so well. I'm gonna get on to my final point now, which is, I think, in my opinion, the most important point out of the first two. So my final point kind of ties into what I was saying before about being mindful of what you say and being mindful in general, and how first impressions can hold such an important role in how people perceive you and how they view you. And some people are very judgy. So based off of your first impressions that you give them, they've already set the tone of you and you literally can't change that. And this point is probably my favorite and most important point. And the biggest reason why people might not like you is literally just the environment. You can't help being human. You're going to make a mistake. Maybe your first impression isn't how you wanted it to come off of, or maybe you didn't realize that the people you were hanging out with they're not very susceptible to your personality and who you are. So remember how I was saying you shouldn't change yourself for others. We all know that that is the ideal case and the ideal scenario, but the human world does not allow for that to happen. So we do kind of have to alter how we are and how we act in certain circumstances. Whether it's a professional environment and we have to act more mature and more poised than we normally are, or it's you're around children, so you're acting more goofy and more lively than you normally are because you're with children and you're trying to get the children to trust you and feel comfortable around you. We all know that we kind of shape shift depending on our environment, and that's what I really want you to take home, is that the environment you are plays such a key role to whether people like you or not. Because if you're in a very judgy environment where you simply do not fit in no matter how much you shapeshift yourself, there is nothing that you can do, and acceptance is the key to happiness in that scenario. So your environment being one of the reasons why people don't like you is so important, because let's say you're at school and you're getting bullied and it seems like you didn't do anything wrong by the book and it's just something that's happening to you. Understanding that it literally isn't your fault and there is technically nothing that you could have done to escape that situation from happening in the first place, is something that can help you move on, because bullying is such an extreme case of what I'm talking about, and it's something that if you understand the principles behind bullying, in the sense that people can just pick on you for the sake of picking on you, like maybe you dropped a pencil and they said, okay, that's an easy target because, as you know, they dropped their pencil. Do you know how silly that is? Like, isn't it could be something so minuscule that you literally can't help as a human being. And the point is, do not get worked up over it. If it seems like you didn't do anything by the books wrong, then it definitely is your environment, and everyone, no matter who they are, eventually faces cases where their environment is hostile towards them. You can pick the most popular girl in your college, the most prettiest person in your workplace, the most, I don't know, praised person in your family, and there's definitely been a moment in their life where they've been in an environment where they've received such hostile or aggressive interactions, and that's just their environment. They're in the wrong place at the right time, and that can happen to any of us, and that has nothing to do with you personally. That's why I stress so much throughout all my points. Don't try and change who you are, but change kind of how you react to the things and how things around you work, rather than changing who you are as a person, because that will not give you happiness. Okay guys, it's getting late and I have work tomorrow, so I'm going to wrap up this video. So just to repeat the three main points: watch what you say, be who you want to be around, and environment. Those are the 3 points and the 3 reasons why people might not necessarily like you. Environment heavy on that, because no matter what you do, no matter how you try to act, people might just not like you, and that's because you're in the wrong place at the right time. And so yeah, I hope this made sense. Editing me will try and make this as cohesive as possible. If I have to put little captions on the screen to further explain my points, I will try and do that. But I'm really tired and I'm working on a very strict time schedule because I don't normally have free time. Like, I normally am a busy little rat. So I normally don't have time to do things. But hopefully this video made sense, and hopefully at least you got a few points that you can take with you that were actually handy, or expanded your horizons and made you think about things in a different way. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please go check out my other ones, and maybe hit that subscribe button if you want to join me on my journey, or if you want to get more advice videos. I actually have loads planned, and they're going to be way better than this one, because I'm going to get better at filming them, and I think writing out the points really helped, so I'm going to do that a lot more, and hopefully it'll be more cohesive and easier for you to understand, and I'll actually allocate proper times in my day to film these, so they're not rushed or they're not so haphazard, even though I kind of like this intimate vibe we have going on. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.